Welcome back to the channel, and in here I share and help trades business owners to develop their business skills. And the reason that I do that is so that hopefully I say something that is so helpful for you on the channel that you reach out to me to see how I can help you even further through one of my other mentoring or training programs, where I focus on helping you to double your trades business over a 12-month period. And you can do that by connecting with me directly at either info@constructiontrainingacademy.com, or you can call the office up on 01652 238 118 and pick option 1. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the importance and the how of how to pre-qualify any customer so that you're not running around pricing up every single lead that comes in. And I give you a structure and a process to be able to pre-qualify those customers. It's going to save you time, and it's going to save you a lot of energy and actually help you in finding the right customers for you. So let's get into this video. So why pre-qualify? A, it's time efficient. Wasting hours running around pricing up every single lead that comes in, not knowing where it came from, not knowing why they asked you, not knowing what their budget is, not knowing where they want to start. And the truth is that most businesses, they ask these questions during that first visit, and by then your time's already been wasted. The time's already been spent, and it might not meet one single one of your business's criteria. I vividly remember this in my own construction business. Someone would only have to look at me the right way or read my van or the back of my t-shirt for longer than they should, and I would be on them, asking what works I could price up for them. Totally unqualified, wasting our time, and if they didn't fit our criteria to begin with. Second point is to be tracking data. If you don't know where they got your information from, it then becomes very difficult for you to assess the temperature of that customer. And to give you just the extremes of what I mean by that, is that a red hot lead would be someone that's a friend of the family, or you've just finished off a job for someone, and a cold lead might be someone that just took a photo of your van whilst on the M1 last week stuck in traffic. The third thing is to be measuring the results. So once you've established where that lead came from, i.e. the temperature of that, the thing that you did through the pre-qualification process, which I'm about to share with you in this video, with what to ask on that call, you can then start assessing what's working in your lead generation activity and what's not. And if all your leads, as an example, are coming from Facebook and none from TikTok, it stands to reason that that's where your energy should go. Put more energy into Facebook and less into TikTok. This is going to save you money. Saving you money. There's a direct impact of pre-qualifying customers on less travel, less fuel, wear and tear on your vehicle. All of these are a direct reduction in overhead. Next one is to reduce stress. It does reduce stress when you're not chasing leads that are never going to come to anything anyway, because they can't meet a set of very basic criteria that you hold inside of your business, which is going to reduce the amount of stress that you feel towards your potential customers. And reduced energy expended is the next thing. So doing less running around requires less energy. That's just plain and simple. So step one is a CRM. Make sure that you're tracking your leads through a robust CRM so that they don't fall through the cracks. Inside my digital mastermind, I've created a free version for the members to download and embed into their business for immediate use to ensure that they're being as efficient with lead tracking as what they possibly can, to ensure that the flow and the management of each lead is as efficient as possible. I obviously can't explain the entire thing in this short tutorial, but you can easily find one that works for you online. There's plenty of them out there. You can use Kartra, HubSpot, there's loads of them. I've created and built my own bespoke one. The next thing to note about your CRM is the accurate inputting of the data that you're capturing during these conversations of pre-qualification. Your CRM is only ever going to be as good as the data that gets inputted into it, so that you can revisit it in weeks, months, or even years in some cases, to review what was said, where and when, to be able to revisit and recall just by a simple review of your document. Now, your CRM wants to be hosted upon a shared drive, so pick one that works for you. Me personally, I use SharePoint, Microsoft application, but there's loads of them out there. Massive recommendation and shout out from me for SharePoint, but there are G Drive, OneDrive, there's lots and lots of hosting platforms where you can host your data. Always lock down what happens next with your customer at the end of every single interaction so that you're clear about whereabouts in the pipeline that customer sits, or at what point they rejected from it, in fact. Now, are they pre-qualified? Are they now pre-qualified after you've gone through this process? Have they met all the criteria that you have in your business? They might be a repeat customer, they might be a family friend, might be someone you already know, like and trust, or some other metric that you deem them to be pre-qualified without going through a process. That for me would be my mum, but that's just about it. Are they not pre-qualified? So using a pre-qualification script, which again, inside of our digital mastermind, this is available in full with exact questions to ask, how to ask them and when to ask them. But for this video, I'm just going to overarch the client framework for me to keep it on point. And if you want to take things further with me inside the program I've just mentioned, I'll tell you about how you can do that at the end of this presentation. So let's pre-qualify. So the client framework, C stands for capacity. So have you got the time in your diary is the first thing. Can you meet the customer's timeline needs? The location, so location and logistics, where is it geographically related to your base? And logistically, is it a flat on the top story of a tower block? Or is it a mid-terraced house with no access to the rear and you're a scaffolder? These are really important things to find out on this pre-call. The intention, what is the client's intention of the works? Expectations and experience, so what's the client's expectations of you as a service provider? And what's their experience in delivering projects in the past as well? Needs assessment, really, really important. Does the client have any specific needs? Do they have a partner that works nights and you can only start work after 12 noon? Have they got school runs to do where you can only start after 9:30 and you've got to be gone by 3? You've got to assess these needs at this stage. And then trust indicators. So like how long or what do they know about you? Why have they chose you? Why did they contact you? Really important assessment to be done in the pre-qualification stage. If you're not asking your customer how much they're looking to get this work done for, or you're not asking your customer a monetary question or a question about money, you've got to ask this question, this uncomfortable question that people want to avoid because British people don't like talking about money. We've got to ask the question to see whether they fit into your budgetary spend or your typical project value before we go out and visit. Remember, this pre-qualification is aimed to reducing the amount of time spent you visiting and pricing up works and etc, etc. So once we've got through these, we have now got to decide whether this is a yes or a no. So we now need to make a decision whether we're going to move forwards with this lead or not. And it might not be a perfect 10. So you've got to use a scoring matrix to protect the business from you, which is what procedures do. And then you can choose to move to the next phase in your procedure, which would be quoting. Don't rush the quoting procedure. I've got a separate video that I'll be dropping soon. So if you don't want to miss that one, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. You've got notifications turned on, and then you'll be notified when it goes up. Now it's decision time. Not a decision to start works, but now a decision to enter into the quoting procedure, which I'm going to drop a further video on in the future. Once we've made a decision as to we are now going to quote for this job, we're going to update the CRM, that will be the next thing, with your new data and the reasons whys and wherefores of why you've made the decision to jump into the quoting procedure as a result of carrying out a successful qualification procedure. Making sure that you schedule in the next step. And then between the period of pre-qualifying and the quote taking place, there's going to be a lull. Now make sure you keep in touch with your client during that period. So have 1, 2, 3 maybe touch points depending on how long that period is. If you're going to pre-qualify and quote the next day, then you're not going to need to do that. But if you're going to pre-qualify and quote in 2 weeks' time, don't leave it till 2 weeks until you actually see that customer again, and that's the next touch point. We want to keep in touch along the way, confirm that appointment and make sure that you're staying front of mind with that customer. What you see on the over my shoulder behind me here, that is a formal documented procedure that takes you through the entire pre-qualification procedure. This procedure exists inside of my digital mastermind so that you can download that, embed it into your business and all of the associated documents that each step is going to take you through. But what this is going to do, so we'll have pre-qualified a customer and then it's going to step into the next procedure, which is the quoting procedure. So again, inside the digital mastermind, you would then click on that quoting procedure, and what that's going to allow you to do is take you into the next process that'll take you through the entire thing. So you're delivering things in a standardized way, and it means that it doesn't need to be you that does it. Anyone in your team can do it in a consistent way, in a way that you would have done it, in a way that you would have done it if you'd have done it yourself. What would you do next? You would now decide whether they have qualified or not. So you're going to enter into the next procedure, as I just said, which is quoting. But when you turn up, what's really important, the first step inside of that quoting procedure is to pre-qualify again. And that is a separate procedure in itself. That's for a future video as well. Make sure you don't miss any of those future videos that will be getting dropped soon. And if you want a copy of that procedure that you just saw on the slide, I'm more than happy to send it to you on an email. Here's what you've got to do though. Here's what I expect of you. I want you to click subscribe and I want you to click that bell icon. And once you've done that, drop me an email across to info@constructiontrainingacademy.com, and in that email, in the subject, simply type, please send me a copy of that procedure, and then inside the email, include your name and your contact phone number. And what I'm going to do is I'll put you into our system, and our system will email over that document to you. I hope that was useful. If you've got any questions, you can pop them on the bottom of the email as well. And I'll see you in the next video.